Nice one, cool dudes. It is Halloween and time for more of my incredible ghost walks. Yes, I'm back in London. Yes, I'm doing a walk from this book here. And I'm at the Barbican. This walk starts at the station, but who could resist a walk around one of the best places in London before the ghost walk starts? Let's have a look at some atmospheric shots to get us in the mood. Back on the walk. You come out of the station, turn left. Immediately there's a ghost. The Sutton Arms. Apparently the landlady had a friend over. She felt a cold chill behind her. She looked into the mirror, only to see a ginger-haired man looking at her. His name was Charlie. But when she turned round, guess what? He'd gone. I mean, this does sound a little bit like you saw something in the mirror and then it disappeared. It's not a great ghost start. Let's carry on. This, cool dudes, is Charterhouse Square. This is the grounds of the old plague pits. During the Black Death, they reckon 50,000 people were buried here. Some of them buried alive. And new pupils in the Charterhouse School were dared to come into the square at midnight and put their ears to the ground and see if they could hear the screams of the buried alive souls below. After all the plague pit business, this area was given to the Carusian monks. I probably said that wrong. And they were very successful here until the reign of Henry VIII, when they refused to accept him as the head of the church, and the prior, a bloke called John Houghton, was hung, drawn and quartered, and his arm was nailed to the gate. During the next few weeks, when the monks refused giving to Henry VIII, they were visited by old ghost monks, of long dead monks, saying, you know, "Don't give in to Henry VIII, are you sure? Quite possibly." 16 more monks were executed, and then they fled and the monastery was dissolved. So, if in doubt, don't listen to ghost zombie monks. An old passing alley, which will lead us to some ancient buildings. This, cool dudes, is St John's Gate, built in 1504, and it's where, in 1877, St John's Ambulance Brigade was founded. Good facts. Through here, my friends, Museum of St John's Ambulance, something or other, is the remains of St John's Chapel, where a lady called Fanny is buried. Sounds pretty boring, but she was one of the key players in the Cock Lane Ghost, one of the most famous London ghost stories. Hello, cool dudes. This is future Marek interrupting because past Marek told this story so badly it made less sense than the stories normally do. So let's have the story of the Cock Lane Ghost. Once upon a time, there was a bloke called William Kent, and sadly his wife died in childbirth. A bit later on, he ended up shacking up with her sister, Fanny. As their relationship was a little bit frowned upon, they moved to Cock Lane in London, where their landlord was Richard Parsons. Richard borrowed some money off William and was really bad about repaying it. And while William was away on business, Richard's daughter, Elizabeth, often stayed with Fanny to keep her company, and that's when they first heard the scratching. Shortly afterwards, Fanny unfortunately died, and then the ghost scratching increased, and the ghost seemed to claim that William had poisoned Fanny. The case became notorious, and there were lots of investigations, including one by Samuel Johnson, and they eventually found out that Elizabeth was making all the knocking sounds with a piece of wood. It was said that Richard had pressured her into it because of the legal action taken by William over the debt that Richard owed him, and Richard was sentenced to 2 years in prison. So the ghost story was just a hoax, or I suppose you could call it a false ghost story, right, Marek? So it's basically a false ghost story. I'm not sure exactly, but I think this up here is the House of Detention, which was a prison since 1606, which was said to have a labyrinth of underground passages that people got lost in and never came out, and you can hear the screams of an anguished child who was lost in the passageways, or it might just be the screams of an annoying child from a local playground. You decide. This, my friend, is Saffron Hill, which was a notorious London rookery, which is a home for lots of criminals. Now it's an area of business, well, was before lockdown, and this is where Dickens set Fagin's home in Oliver Twist.
But please, Mr. Fagin, I've already given you 20 handkerchiefs today already. May I have some porridge?
This is where Mary Poppins fell to her death. This, my friends, is our last ghost stop, Bleeding Heart Yard, which used to belong to Elizabeth I, and she gave it to her Chancellor, Christopher Hatton. Sounds like a nice bloke. Well, his wife, Lady Hatton, apparently sold her soul to the devil, and one night, during a ball, the devil appeared in a black robe, found Lady Hatton, dragged her out into the courtyard, and suddenly there was a huge crack of thunder. Lady Hatton disappeared, and all that was left in the courtyard was a large, pumping heart. Nice one, cool dudes. The walk is complete. How long did it take? About an hour and a half, 2 hours, about 2 miles. Was it scary though? No, not especially, but a nice way of seeing different places that you might not have seen in the city, like that Bleeding Heart place and Charterhouse. That was good. That's about it. Oh yes, don't forget to join the club and get this incredible stuff. That's it. Most importantly, stay cool. See you later. Bye.